Good morning and good afternoon to all of you. At the outset, I hope that everyone is keeping fine and safe in this time of pandemic, especially the third wave. Now, talking about pandemic and the new normal, it is evident that the new normal in 2022 will be more of new than that of normal. Creativity, resilience, and agility, fueled by strong customer understandings and smart technological investments, will separate the leaders to that of the rest, no matter whichever industry we talk about. This is not what I am saying, this is what the industry experts are today betting upon. Hi everyone, my name is Rudra Mukherjee and I am the Director for Delivery and Client Engagement here in Provi International. A very quick intro about myself, having witnessed the full journey of B2C and the B2B behaviors for the last 25 years, and the potential which internet applications and data offered, I developed a penchant to turn out to be a cloud specialist over the last few years. I'm a certified professional level solution architect in 3 hyperscaler cloud providers, AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud. On the personal front, I was born in the city of Joy, Kolkata or Calcutta, hailed by Mother Teresa, worked with customers across the globe, and right now speaking to all of you from Chennai in India. Now, before we get started with the core webinar about cloud computing, I thought of giving a very quick context about what I call as disruptive innovation. See, disruption has ensured since the dawn of civilization. From the Stone Age to the age of digital, human beings are never happy with what they have achieved. They are in constant search of something new and something better or something different. Now, there was an age of printing press, to the age of electricity, to the age of automobile industries, to the age of first age computers, to where we are today, which is what is called the digital age. But it exploded in intensity and breadth over the last century, more specifically in the last 2 decades, and more fiercely probably during this time of pandemic. From, let's say, reels to online streaming, from cars, or rather, let's say, bullock carts to cars with wheels, to autonomous vehicles, from Hey Taxi to click cab hailing applications, innovation has disrupted the way we behave, we think, and we create value for our customers. Now, there is one common element to any form of innovation. Any form of transformative innovation is meant to bring a paradigm shift, a fundamental and irreversible change in the way humans work, behave, and engage with the rest of the world. But then you may ask me, why am I talking about all these things in a cloud webinar? No, you got it right. Cloud technology is yet another innovation that is bringing a paradigm shift in redefining the way business create value. And I don't need to elaborate these and talk about the significance and the advantages of cloud. I think today anyone and everyone would understand the importance of cloud, because a significant driver of this journey of the digital that we are enjoying today is actually running under the prowess of cloud computing. But let me quickly highlight 3 very important features why cloud has gained so much of popularity. The first, in my opinion, is about what I call as omnipresence. In many forms, used by many people across many companies. The second important part of cloud is about its power or powerfulness. You can host just about any applications, anytime, anywhere, and at any scale. And lastly, the third and the most important point is about leverage. Allowing us to do more with less, be more efficient, save money, and save time. I mean, there is no industry. I mean, we talk about social media, Facebook, Google, Netflix, to banking and financial segments, to education segments, to healthcare, to virtual collaborations. Anywhere we see, we will find that any digital, adoption is actually backed by the prowess of cloud computing in the back end. So that is why we call that, cloud computing has actually brought in a paradigm shift in the way today we do business. And, it is evident that any industry is today adopting this cloud computing. Now, when we do a survey in terms of reaching out to the enterprises and finding out where they sit in terms of their cloud journey, we have segmented our study based on 5 critical groups or clusters, let's say. Enterprises have covered different distances in this journey of cloud. The first segment or the first cluster of customers that we come across in the marketplace is about something what we call as let's have cloud just a feeling, getting ready for the cloud. They have not used cloud, they have heard about cloud, and they want to explore the cloud. Maybe today you may find this cluster of customer base quite diminishing, because more and more customers are today adapting, or they are seriously planning for that. But then there is a cluster which is there, which we call as just a feeling set of customers. Then the second set of customers is what I call as quote unquote flirting with the cloud, which means just adapted but not unearthed the cloud in full realities. They have heard about cloud, they are just doing some amount of study about the cloud, they are doing some experiments, maybe they have some sort of proof of concept center, etc., but they haven't actually used it for business values. The third and the fourth set of customers is what we predominantly find in the market today, which is what the third one is what we call as cloud inspired, which means that they have been inspired by the cloud, they have started the journey, but they have a long way to go. And then there is a fourth set of customers that we find, which is essentially what we call as cloud enabled, which means that they have already migrated, or they have a small portions of their production loads running into the cloud, and they are taking this cloud journey forward by migrating more and more production loads into the cloud. And probably the last set of the customer segment is what we call as cloud transform, which means that a significant production load is already running on the cloud, and they are considering about optimizations and modernizations aspects of the cloud. So essentially, I'm sharing this slide just to give a context and the background about the different kind of enterprises that are there in the marketplace that we come across. And from Provi's side, what we say is that no matter where you are in your cloud journey, we can navigate this flight together. We believe in what I call as different folks, different strokes. No matter where we are in this journey, we can be your co-pilot. Now, having said that, now let us quickly look about what can our cloud specialists do for you. When we talk about ProV, we have a long history of our relation with IFS as an ERP partner, and we continue to dominate in this market segment, in Europe, in North America, and the rest of the world. While IFS has their own cloud, so do we in ProV. We have our own ProV managed cloud, where we are constantly helping our existing customers to migrate their applications from on-premise to the ProV managed cloud. But then that's not where it stops in ProV. At ProV, we have a full portfolio of cloud services that are powered to provide a full cycle towards a journey to cloud approach. Starting, what you can see in the slide, starting with the cloud consulting services, to cloud transformation, which comes with cloud engineering and cloud optimizations, and then finally to take the responsibility of the client to manage this entire service by us. We have what we call as cloud management or managed services model, either through dedicated or shared services model. So essentially, we are heavily involved in one layer of cloud offering, which is what we called as cloud consulting. And I will talk about this in the subsequent slide in more details. And then the core area of where we get involved is on the cloud transformation journey, which has got cloud engineering and cloud optimizations. And ultimately, once the migration or once the transformation initiatives are over, we take the responsibility of managing this environment end to end and give a peace of mind to our customers by adapting the best practices around operational management, remote monitoring, support services, site reliability, engineering support, security, governance, and areas around that. Now, when we talk about the cloud consulting and the transformation, which happens to be the core area of in our cloud, journey, at Provi, we consider this cloud journey as a full-blown journey to the cloud adoptions. It's not about adapting just for once. And typically, this journey starts with this is typically a 5-phase approach that we have, we generally apply to. And typically, this starts with what we call as cloud assessment to determine what portions of your infrastructures and applications can be migrated to the cloud, what portions cannot be migrated to the cloud, by adopting industry standard practices like adopting 6 Rs, which stands for rehosting, which is lift and shift, replatforming, which is tweaking your infrastructure components or modifications to your infrastructure components and then migrating it, or refactoring, doing some application modernizations, or it could be even repurchasing, retiring, or retaining. So these are all industry standard practices that we adapt to do a cloud assessment of understanding your business goals, creating an inventory database, deriving technology metrics, and helping it out. The second phase of our cloud journey essentially is about what we call as pilot phase, where we start taking baby steps in terms of defining the blueprints of what we have designed in our assessment phase, defining security policies, maybe defining users and identity access management, and essentially building the base platform, building the base infrastructure layer into the cloud so that the migration activities can happen. And third phase is what we call as cloud migrations, which typically has got 2 components in it. The first set of migration will be the data migrations, where we typically leverage binary large object storages like the blob storages in Azure or S3 buckets in Amazon Web Services or Google Drives in Google Cloud to sort of transform the data. And once the data migration has been done, then we do an application migrations. And typically we try to do the application migrations in a more of a lift and shift manner, using industry standard tools like Cloud Endura or Velostrata or any other tools that our customers may like to use. So this is essentially about our migrations. But then, having said these 3 phases of consulting transformations, there is yet another very vital and very important phase to leverage the full potential of cloud, which is what we call as optimizations and modernizations in building analytics and AI ML driven engines for getting insights to predictable data and further securing the infrastructures. So as a matter of fact, when we talk about cloud, Provi is not only helping in migrating the base applications and base infrastructures in moving them from their on-premise data centers to the cloud, but there's a significant advantage of cloud adoptions. When we talk today about cloud adoptions, everybody will talk about cloud adoptions in a lift and shift manner. Your cloud hardwares does not wear out every 3 years or 5 years. You don't need to pay annual maintenance contract for your infrastructures. So that is an advantage. Applications can be migrated seamlessly, which is an advantage. Scale can be adapted on the fly. Demands, increase the size when the demand peaks, decrease it when the demand sinks. Scale can be adapted on the fly, and then you have got services around virtual private networking, which can make things more secure, and you can segregate based on network traffics. All these things are fine, and these are all the basic cloud migration approach. But that's not all about the cloud adoptions. Today, if we talk about cloud adoption, you know, uh, it is more about optimizations and modernizations of your applications. That's where lies the full benefits of cloud. Today, any enterprise would like to move to the cloud with one single element of improving the productivity and minimizing their costs and overheads. And if you are looking for that area or that particular segment, then optimization and modernization is what is the key to get the real benefits. And these are circled around several new technologies and new features that are available. At Provi, this happens through our highly skilled cloud professionals in our center of excellence that we have in our delivery centers to build IPs on a series of cloud native development development approaches that sort of combines microservices architectures, workflows and pipeline automations like CI/CD pipelines, adapting an open and hybrid cloud platforms, adapting to any cloud platforms that the customer or the requirements be, and finally having a team of DevOps with a DevOps mindsets that can build some sort of microservices and APIs that can orchestrate on the containers or any other containerized managed platforms as a service. So essentially, one set of our core offering is obviously about migrating our existing ERP customers to the cloud. The second set of our core activities lies in migrating any customers who are having their infrastructures on the premises to a secured and reliable cloud providers through managed services. And the third and the most important segment where we are heavily deployed right now is about optimizations and modernizations in terms of adapting CI/CD pipelines, DevOps, microservices, and containers. And that's where typically the market is moving towards what we call as cloud native approach. So this is essentially the context that I wanted to talk about on optimizations and modernizations. Having said that, let's make a very quick look about Provi in terms of finding out what makes Provi a rare combo. No, Provi as an organization, we are scattered across multiple geographies around the world. Our core area or our core focus lies in delivering things faster and delivering things often. We are a small and a highly niched team based in our delivery centers in India, US, and other parts of the geographies. And when you are on Provi Cloud, you actually sell through 5 world-class applications: IFS, FSM, Delboomi, ServiceNow. And when you do this, you have a defined financial savings of at least 3 to 5 times over a period of 3 to 5 years on a very high level. And at the same times, the most important part is that you are in the safe hands of cloud professionals who are constantly taking care of your business through our managed services models. At Provi Labs, we collaborate and co-create by applying the design thinking principles and work together with all our clients. So that is essentially about Provi and a brief. We have many case studies, many clienteles that we can refer where we have successfully migrated. I can pick up a very recent one of our migrations that we have done for one of our US and Canadian customers, where we have actually migrated one of your existing ERP applications to the Provi cloud in a record 7 days times, with all the heavy lifting happening over the weekends without causing any material disruptions to the normal operations of our client. So we are heavily engaged in this particular activity as we speak today. We have many such success stories that we can share with the potential clients, but then because of time, probably I will not be able to take those further. I will try to keep some time open for some sort of Q&A or any questions that you may have. In terms of a sneak preview, we are 1,200 plus employee organizations. We have more than 200 plus projects that we have executed. All these statistics are there on your slide, but I think the most important part to talk about ProV is about our mission and our core values. We have set a very clear core mission and core values where we say that every time, anytime we take up any assignments, we exceed our customer expectations. And this happens through a proven track records of a process of a CSAT survey that we do for every customers. The second most important part about Provi is about empowering our employees. We believe in empowering our employees. We co-create, co-innovate, applying design thinking principles in our center of excellence to come up with new ideas and new solutions. And we are constantly engaging our teams to come up with new ideas and new solutions. And we always find creative new solutions. We always celebrate wins together with our employees, together with our customers. And last but not least, we take ownership of what we do. If we commit something to our customers, we make sure that we do that. I think in the interest of time, I am already on the peak of the time. So, I will come to a quick conclusions. But before I conclude, just a readout I was reading some time back. According to Forrester's predictions of 2022, in the year 2022, 30% of the firms with the cloud first strategies are expected to shift to the cloud native approach. The point about optimizations and the modernizations which I was talking about. Instead of adapting to cloud solutions only for the new workloads, firms now will prioritize on container-based, microservice-oriented architectures in a hybrid environments and a multi-cloud environment. This will be used with the cloud-native platforms, and that's what this year's predictions and the forecasts are. So one form of our core responsibility towards our customers and towards our potential marketplace is that we constantly deliver these application modernizations and application optimization areas through microservices, API driven decisions, and adapting in hybrid cloud and in a multi-cloud environments. So with that note, let me give a quick pause here. I know time is limited, so I will open up the floor for any questions that anybody may have.